Birdman.
All right, here we are. The holidays are all over.
Yeah,
Wonderful. Looking
yeah,
forward to a wonderful, prosperous, healthy, safe New Year.
yes, exactly. And looking for that. Christmas was good for me. The boys, or at least two out of three of the boys were in town, and we just did a little family thing, and it worked out well. Everything was good, and then just yesterday, me and Lenore went to Death Valley. That's a sight to see if you've never been there. But we did that yesterday with the middle son and his partner, and yeah, it was fun time, fun
All
time.
right, all right. It's kind of hot up there, ain't it?
The weather was perfect. The weather was perfect. It's only a 2 hour drive actually. You drive to Pahrump first, and then another 45 minutes to an hour, which is just a 2 lane road there to Death Valley. But shucks, they got an 18-hole golf course there, hiking trails, uh, one of a kind ice cream parlor that we was
Oh,
able to get ice cream and
wow.
and
So it was like a
margarita.
day trip?
A day trip, yeah. We
Yeah.
headed out at around 9 o'clock, 8 or 9 that morning, and got back around 8 or 9 that evening.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'll keep that in mind. I'll
yeah.
keep that in mind. Yeah.
Back
Yeah.
8 or 9.
Well, callers out there, if you're out there, you can call into the show right now. The information to call in is in the description below. Uh, I'm I'm just a happy camper for all that we've been able to discuss and some of the people that we've been able to interview over the course of the year. It's been a great year so far, and we still got another show tomorrow. We're going to be talking about the top 10 fights in 2025. You're going to have your 10, and I got my 10,
Yeah,
and somewhere in the middle, they'll blend.
exactly, exactly. And I'm glad we
Yeah,
got a few things cleared up on the top 10 because I was looking at any fight in the top 10, and
yeah,
like I had mentioned to you, Shook, there was some good four rounders, some good 6, 8, possible 10s, and for me, I was trying to look through all the different fights, but
yeah,
cleared it up by saying title fights. And if it's a
yeah. There
title
you go.
fight,
That's what I did.
yeah,
Yeah,
that clears it up because
yeah,
now I can focus directly on that and pick my top 10 so we can joust a little bit tomorrow.
yeah. That sounds good. Well, callers, you can call in now and join in the conversation with Mr. Bayless and myself. And we're going to be talking about a fight that occurred over the weekend, uh, featuring the monster, the Japanese monster, Inoue. Man,
Yeah.
they named that kid right. He's a bad man.
Yes, he is. Uh, when it comes for to this kid's technology, well, technique is what I'm trying to say. Um, the way he's throwing combinations, he's not wasting many punches. I mean, he's well aware of everything that's going on, and he executes well. He
Yeah,
does.
well, I agree. I agree. Uh, and if I was in the ring with him, I might think he was a monster too. That's how he got his name. But yeah, the fight he had over the weekend with this kid uh,
Picasso.
Picasso, I think he was undefeated, uh,
Yeah,
undefeated fighter. But it was a fight. I
yeah.
mean, well, truth be told, it was a competitive, non-competitive. for me
Yeah,
because yeah, Picasso was in the fight. He showed a lot of grit. Uh,
yeah,
he stayed in there for 12 rounds,
yeah,
but he got whooped.
yes,
Uh, anyway, I mean the combinations, the hand speed, uh, just too fast, too sharp,
yeah,
and his counterpunching from when Picasso was coming at him. Anyway, a terrific counterpuncher. That just took all when Picasso thought he had a head of speed, you know, that stopped all of that, you
yeah.
know. Uh, yeah, I mean, he's the full packet. He's a full packet.
He's the full package, and like you said, Picasso I mean, he gave it his all in all. I think he left it all in the ring, and that's what you want to do. You don't want to get out of the ring and feel that you could have did this and did that. You want to explain that in the ring, and for Picasso to be as gallant as he was in trying to make things work for him, he was just a little short on
Yeah,
each round. I mean, it
yeah,
wasn't many rounds I gave him because shucks, that Inoue was on it. He was on it.
yeah, yeah. Well, I know God. Well, the judges gave him like uh, I think one's 119, so he only gave one round. One judge didn't give him any rounds. Uh,
Yeah,
Another judge gave him 3 rounds.
yeah.
When you look at those scores, then it was a pretty one-sided fight. Uh,
It's pretty one-sided. Like you said, it was 119, 109, 120, 108, and 117, 111.
yeah,
And yeah, you're right. Uh, one judge didn't give him a round,
yeah, yeah,
but the other two, one gave him one, and one gave him three. So yeah, competitive, entertaining, but Picasso just didn't have enough. Just didn't have
yeah,
enough.
yeah. Well, this fight was also historic. What I understand is that uh, this fight represented 27 title fights for
Mhm.
Inoue, and he hadn't lost any of them. So he's
Yeah,
27-0 in title fights. But
yeah.
but he's also got the Ring Magazine Fight of the Year 4 times. A Ring Magazine Fight of the Year title fight. The
Hmm.
only other person that's done that is Larry Holmes.
Yes.
Yeah, Larry Holmes is the only other person that did that. Uh, uh, so 4 Ring Magazine title fights in 1 year.
In one
He
year.
did that. Yeah, set a record, and that belt, the belt that he got was a special Ring Magazine belt, not
Yeah.
one that you've seen before, which was kind
Yeah.
of uh, indicative of how people think about him, and certainly Ring Magazine. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you, you mentioned earlier both of them were undefeated. I like that scenario when neither fighter has a loss because they definitely don't want to get a loss when they're fighting another undefeated fighter. The old saying, somebody's always got to go.
yeah, yeah,
In this situation, it was Picasso, but like you said, Picasso was undefeated. I'm sure you have, as well as myself, been in the ring where there's been uh, two undefeated fighters, and they're gonna leave it in the ring because they don't want to lose, which is
yeah, yeah,
apparent. Uh, and when you look at two undefeated fighters, you're usually gonna get a good show because they're bringing it all out. There's
yeah,
no, yeah, they're bringing it all out because they don't want to lose that
yeah.
out. So
And this was especially true in this particular fight because when you are a fighter of Inoue stature and you've accomplished the things that he's accomplished and you have the record that he has, you know that going in that ring, you know that if you can conquer him,
Yes.
your status goes way up,
Way
goes
up.
way up.
Yes.
So there are wins and then there are wins, and this would have been a significant win
Yeah.
had Picasso been able to pull off the upset because obviously anyway was the favorite.
Yes.
But had he been able to pull off the upset, would have been huge.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah,
they're both are come forward fighters. Uh, Picasso and they kind of talked about how when you look at Mexican fighters, they come to bring it.
yeah,
You ain't got to look far to find them because they're gonna be standing in the middle of the ring, and
yep, yep,
and that's the kind of fight we got. Both fighters standing in the middle of the ring, using all their technical skills to do what they can do to get the advantage, to land the punch that they wanted to land. There was a little infighting, outfighting, like you said earlier, counter punching. We saw a little everything in this fight, and Inoue just happened to be the superior fighter that night.
yeah. Now there's a rumor out there that the guy that I believe is the best heavyweight out there, and he's proved that, and he's because he's now undisputed for the second time around.
Yeah,
Uh, Usyk.
yeah,
But there's this rumor, Kenny. It's hard for me to believe that Usyk is calling out Deontay Wilder. And my take on this is why, and why would he be? This man is the consummate heavyweight champion of the world. I
yeah,
mean, why would you be calling out Deontay Wilder? Now, 4 or 5 years ago, yeah, that would have made a lot of sense to me.
yeah,
That fight would have made a lot of sense 4 or 5 years ago. But Deontay Wilder has not been significant for the past at least 2 years. He hasn't looked well in his recent 3 or 4 fights.
yeah,
And the people that he was fighting in the last 2 or 3 years certainly weren't on the same level as Usyk. So I maybe you can help me out. Can you help me out here? Why in the world would Usyk want to be fighting Wilder? Help
yeah.
me out, Kenny.
Well, that's a good question. When I heard about it, I kind of my first response was I shook my head and said to myself, well, why would he look down that rabbit hole as opposed to who he would choose to want to fight next, as opposed to what the governing bodies are saying that who he should fight next, and quite frankly, uh, uh, Deontay Wilder, I'm not going to say he had his day, but when he was on top, he was untouchable because he was taking everybody out with the right hand. And if you didn't know about his right hand when you stepped in the ring, you was in a big world of trouble um, until he ran up against Tyson Fury. We know their first fight was a draw. I did the second fight, and that was when Deontay got his first loss, and the fight was stopped by his corner, which uh, he was a bit upset. Wilder was a bit upset about because his attitude was that he wanted to go out on his own shield. Well, in the third fight, he went out on his own shield. That was
Yeah, he did.
how many knockdowns in that fight? 4 or 5 knockdowns
Yeah, right.
in that fight. Tyson Fury had a couple, and Deontay Wilder had the rest.
Yeah,
So with that being said, he ends up then fighting several more times, and his last fight, shucks, I just kind of threw caution to the wind that he wouldn't be getting back in the ring anymore because his last performance just looked like, where was he?
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
and now for Usyk to ask for Wilder as to what we've seen, his performances have continued to deteriorate.
Yeah.
So why Usyk?
Well, maybe it's because you and I have agreed that most talented heavyweights in boxing are all in Europe now. They're all in Europe.
Yeah,
So maybe this is Usyk's way of saying, I'm gonna give you guy over there in the USA, I'm gonna give you a shot. I mean, I can't think of any other rational reason why he would be calling out Deontay Wilder. Or he's had a couple of tough fights, with Dubois. Uh,
yeah,
he's a much more, I think, dangerous opponent than Wilder would be. So maybe he's looking at Wilder as being, uh, an easy fight. If you've been fighting tough all day, you want one that's going to be, less hard
yes,
because uh, just based upon my work with him, your work with him, anybody who has watched him over the course of the last 4 or 5 years against, Fury, against Joshua, uh, against Dubois. I mean, these are big, heavy hit
yes,
guys, and Deontay has certainly showed that his jaw is not what it used to be.
right,
And the one thing you get in the ring with Usyk, the one thing is you're gonna get hit.
yes,
Yeah, and it's going to be repeatedly.
yes,
And he is an anomaly when you talk about heavyweight because he's a southpaw heavyweight. And there's not a whole lot of them out there, uh, which
it's
gives
not
you a
a whole
whole nother thing to do.
yes,
You know?
and if I was just to just think totally out of the box and say that Wilder has a chance, um, I would say he does because he's still got that right hand, which reminds me of Big George Foreman. When George Foreman, after retiring for 10 years and decided to come back, I didn't think George had a chance in the heavyweights that were out there, but he made his mark and he came back and won the heavyweight title again. So I say that to say that if 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 I was going to give Deontay Wilder a chance, I'd say, hey, if he can recreate that right hand that he had back when he was knocking everybody out, if he can recreate that with his height and his reach, use some strategic movement. Uh, don't go in with the attitude of just trying to knock your opponents out. Try to outthink him. Use your jab because he's got a longer reach to keep him at bay. If you got the ability to move around, slip and slide and frustrate your opponent, you might be able to catch him with that right hand that you have done in the past.
Well,
And
yeah, and
Bert, we've seen it happen. The right touch can put you in a space that you need some time to recover.
Yeah. Well, we know that in heavyweight fights, anything can happen. It only takes one punch.
Anything can happen.
Okay. But
Yeah,
and to your point, the best way to fight a southpaw, one of the major punches in fighting a southpaw is a straight right hand. Okay.
yeah,
And we know that Wilder has that. The problem that
yeah,
I saw with Wilder is that he depended so much upon that one shot that
yeah,
you know when it didn't happen, he was lost. He was lost. If that one thing didn't work, he was
yeah,
lost. So instead of developing
yeah,
the rest of his repertoire, he kept thinking about that one hand. Well, if you know that, then your opponent knows that. And so all your opponent
yeah,
has to do is stay away from that particular punch,
yeah,
and the fight becomes easy, you know. Frankly, I think I just see no reason or rationale at all uh, for that fight. I don't think it's in the best interest of Wilder, because Usyk is while he's not the heaviest of punchers, he punches in combinations, and let me tell you something, that'll put you out.
yeah,
That'll put you out. And so
yeah,
it's just one of those fights that uh, I find no rhyme or reason for. You know,
yeah,
I just don't.
yeah,
Unless I said he just
yeah,
wants to give the USA a chance to come and fight for the title again against all the Europeans.
well, I tell you this, Bird. Our heavyweight situation here is that if Usyk wants to give an American, and the American that he has picked is Wilder, a chance to fight for the title, one might say, "What you got to lose,
Yeah,
Deontay?"
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know, and we know there's been a lot of fights like that. Is what you got to lose.
yeah, yeah,
We just saw one not that long ago with Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua.
yeah, yeah,
Jake Paul, what you got to lose?
yeah, yeah,
This man is double time heavyweight champ, taller, longer, reach, everything. So what you got to lose?
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, but for Usyk, I can't even believe that it's about money.
right.
Because he has been, very successful
Yes,
in over the course of the last 5 years.
yes,
So it can't be about money.
right.
So there must be some reason or rationale for it. I just can't figure out what it is.
Yeah,
You know.
exactly.
Now, but another reason why is if I were going to pick the top three fighters in 2025, I would also have to include Mr. Usyk,
Yes,
which is another
I
reason
agree.
why I can't understand him wanting to fight Wilder, who nobody's called him Wilder out, you know. Uh, but if I were going to pick one of my fighters for the year of 2025, it would definitely I had to add Mr. Usyk in there because of the two fights that he had with Dubois. The first fight with all of the hullabub about the low blow and all of that,
Yeah,
um, and understanding how talented fighters answer all of the uh, foolishness about them. He said, okay, you got some questions about it. You don't think it was this. You thought it was that. Let's do it again and I'll show you. Well, clearly he did in the second fight. against Dubois. Uh, it was it, it was sad. Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, he beat him up.
Yeah.
He beat Dubois up and knocked him out. Uh, so he would definitely be on my list.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
and
he's on mine too, and believe it or not, the fights that we have talked about, well, Terrence Crawford obviously is on my list for 2025 as well.
yes, bro. Ah.
As
I
well
know, I know.
as well as Usyk. And then I got the kid in Inoue Inoue. We just talked about him.
Anyway, yeah,
Picasso.
the
I
Japanese
got him.
kid.
Yeah, Inoue. Yeah, I got him as my top, and you know that there's been talk that the fans have called for the WBO champ Noza as a more compelling opponent for anyways next fight. Uh,
Well, now I'm going to tell you something. I can understand that
yeah,
because Espinoza is not your ordinary featherweight.
yeah,
This kid is 6'1". He's 6'1", weighing 125 pounds.
right,
Okay, 74-inch reach.
yeah,
Uh, in so many ways, he reminds me of Fondura.
that's my
You
first.
know, your tall reach, and this kid Espinoza knows how to fight at distance,
Yeah,
but he's not afraid to go inside and fight inside. So I think it would be an intriguing match. I agree with you, Kenny.
yeah,
I think that would be uh, a definite challenge to Inoue because of the height, because of the reach.
yeah,
Anyway, extremely talented.
extremely
Like you
talented.
said, the tech has the technique that just overwhelms guys. You know,
Yeah,
but
yeah. And
yeah,
this kid Nakatani, I haven't seen him much, but apparently he's in the mix. So between Espinoza and Nakatani, you remember back in the days when there was always a question about who should get the next fight, they would either match them two up to fight Inoue. So they would match Espinoza up to fight Nakatani, and the winner of that then would fight Inoue.
you
So
know what? I hadn't thought about that, Kenny, but now that you mention it, I agree with you. I think that would be,
yeah,
uh, and it would make the fight even more sellable.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
it would make the fight much more
So
sellable. Yeah, I agree with you. I hadn't thought about it, but now that you mention it, yeah, I agree.
yeah, yeah, because I remember Angelo Dundee. I remember Angelo Dundee saying years ago when Sugar Ray Leonard and Tommy Hearns was there.
I think we, yeah, I think we lost you there for a minute. You were making a point about Angelo Dundee and what he was saying about
And
matching Ray and Hearns.
Dundee said, as much as the fans and the public was wanting to see them two fight each other, Angelo Dundee says, no, we're going to hold off and let it get real juicy. And once we let it get real juicy, the more demand, the better.
Yeah,
And that's what's making it get juicy. And then when they fought, oh, it was over the top because it
yeah,
was a classical fight.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Classic because
yeah.
the Tommy Hearns that had the reach and the length and the height ended up getting hurt. Hurt, I think, was on the fifth. or sixth round, and the guy that was a knockout king that could knock opponent out in a blink ended up turning into being a boxer. And
Yeah,
Sugar Ray Leonard, on the other hand, that was the mover, the clever, in and out, ended up
yeah,
being the fighter. So
yeah, yeah,
yeah, you just never know.
yeah, yeah. Well, I'm not that familiar with Nakatani. I think he was on this card.
Okay.
He fought someone else, uh,
Yeah.
but and evidently he's very good, very good.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but I agree with you that uh, and I would think that Nakatani and Inoue both being Japanese,
Yeah.
uh, it would be a huge fight in Japan.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, I
Without a
think it
doubt.
would be a huge fight in Japan,
Yeah.
and uh, and 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 and. But I also agree that if we could put Espinoza in with Nakatani, and then the winner of that fight get Inoue, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a good
Oh yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And,
Uh,
and
because I think that the height and the reach that Espinoza has, his ability to fight both, at length and in close.
yes.
You know, he's a very strong fighter. What's really uh, challenging with him is he's a great body puncher.
Yes.
And you kill a body, the head will fall. You know, he uh, he
Yeah.
he he's a heck of a body puncher. So I'm saying it's all there
Yeah.
for the ingredients are all there uh,
Yeah.
to make and Inoue is such a technical fighter,
Yes.
you know, and he just walks through people. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Yeah. When he came to Las Vegas and he fought, he did get dropped. So people forget that he did get dropped, but after that he went on and it became anyway, and
Yeah.
handled that fight. So
Yeah.
we know that he can be dropped based upon that.
Yeah.
Uh, I That's a fight that's very intriguing. I'd like to see it. I'd like
Yeah.
to see that fight. Uh,
Yeah.
but I do agree that, like you were saying, let him fight Nakatani and let that other fight get a little juicy. I like
Yes.
that. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. And callers, just read the description there, link in, and if you'd like to join our conversation, we're more willing to have you join us as we're getting to the close of 2025. Um,
Yeah.
um, uh, Birdman, I don't know if you heard, I got a call from my son as I was heading to the gym to get my workout in, and he said, "Dad, did you hear what happened to Anthony Joshua?" And I said, "No." He said he was in a car wreck. Uh, uh,
Mm.
he wasn't in England at the time. He was in Africa. I think it was in Nigeria. Apparently, that's where his birthplace is.
Huh.
And from there, he moved, to the UK. But anyway, he said apparently in the entourage of cars that were going, and Joshua would happen to be sitting in the back seat of a car that was transporting him, and a semi truck happened, I guess, to cross over and hit them like head on.
Oh man.
Yeah, yeah.
So he was hurt.
Driver, uh, and the Anthony was in the back seat, and the person that was in the front seat in front of him ended up getting killed.
What was it? Was Joshua? Was he
So
hurt?
apparently Joshua did get some bruises and some, scraps and scrapes and whatnot. But my son sent me the picture, and you look at the car that they were in, and it doesn't. If it wasn't that you could see the front wheel of the car he was in, you couldn't tell if it was a car. That's how bad
Wow.
the impact was. Yeah.
Man.
So I just say to Anthony Joshua, we're we're blessed that you came out not as bad as the person that was in the car in front of me. We
Yeah.
can only send prayers to the person because they didn't. My son didn't tell me who that person was, other than they were in the front seat. But we definitely send prayers to whoever the family members are, to the one that passed in that fatal accident. It's terrible, and it's
Yeah.
sad, but
Yeah.
our condolences go out to the family.
Yeah. Well, if we were to list these fighters, Kenny,
Hmm.
1, 2, and 3 in 2025, who would you
Well,
put number one?
I put Terrence as number one.
And who would you put number two?
I put Usyk as number two, and I put Inoue as number three.
Uh, I want to, I really like you a lot, but I don't appreciate you looking at my list. You looked at my list, and I don't appreciate that. But anyway, no. Uh,
Hey,
great
they
minds
always
think,
say it. Birdman, they
minds think
always
alike.
say it. They
Great
understand.
minds think alike.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because I would have exactly the same.
Is that
Uh,
right? Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. I
and
mean,
and Usyk number two, Inoue number three, and definitely Clarence.
yeah.
As the fight in 2025 for all of the reasons why that fight uh, took place, where it took place. Uh, uh, you know, it 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 re it boxing needed that fight.
Yeah.
I guess that's how I put it.
Yeah.
And this is the official call show. You can call in, call us, or you can click the link and join in our discussion. But boxing really, really, really needed that fight,
Yeah.
because it had everything. Um, you had a fighter who, you know, had answered all the questions, but there were still questions about him. You know, you had a guy that, you know, arguably is probably now. I guess nobody will ever take the place of Julio Cesar Chavez as the grand champion of Mexico.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this: I think that Canelo is right behind him.
Yeah.
In terms of Mexican fighters in stature,
Yeah.
uh, and you had you know that pedigree against this little kid from Omaha, Nebraska,
Yeah.
uh, that had been doubted all the way up.
Yeah.
In every weight class, he had been doubted uh, and so now he wants to take on the guy that is the second greatest Mexican fighter of all time
Yeah.
at a weight class that is three weight classes above where he was most successful.
Yeah.
It had all the ingredients, for a great fight.
Yeah.
And it answered a lot of questions. A lot of people talk about, well, his legacy, this, and I don't think that because of the fight, the way it transpired, the way it worked out, I don't think the legacy of either fighter can be questioned.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
It was a good fight. It was
yeah,
a tactical fight.
yeah,
It answered a lot of questions on both sides of the ledger,
yeah,
you know. Uh, so boxing needed that. And what boxing will need in 2026 is a lot more fights like that,
yeah,
you know, because when we think about 2025, think about the lost weekend, that weekend in New York. It was supposed to be, all of these great fights, and it was a miserable show. Thank God, anyway, his fight in Nevada on that Sunday saved the whole weekend, you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
Uh, but so I say that to say, they say that's why there was so much significance to that fight with Crawford and Canelo.
yeah,
Uh, Boxing needed that. And boxing is going to need more and more and more fights of that magnitude in order to survive because it was in trouble. The game was in trouble, certainly in the United States of America.
yeah,
And boxing has had a revolution, a rebirth in Europe because most of the good fights this year have been in Europe.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
we've said that the heavyweight champion of the world for years and years and years was always in America. Okay, but for the last 8 years or so, starting with the Klitschko's, it's been Europe. It's moved. It's going to Europe,
yeah,
and so there's so much to be done to make this game what it ought to be, or to keep it what it ought to be. What you love and what
yeah,
I love, this game of boxing that's done so much for
yeah,
you and done so much for me. We want to see it get rebirth in 2026.
yeah. Well, very well said. I would like to first. I'd like to say we did have a caller that made comment about the both of us were in reference to the show and what we're doing. And caller, we appreciate your text. And if there are any callers that would like to join in, the description is down below. Just hit it, and the link will be there, and we can add you in. Um, we've said this, Birdman, more than one time back in the day, and I can go back as far as the uh, 76 Olympics, Montreal, Canada. We had Howard Davis, Sugar Ray Leonard, Leon and Michael Spinks. There were a few others, but you, you could see the progression of the amateurs in what we had. It wasn't just one individual that was a superstar or a star in the amateurs. There were multiple fighters in all different weight classes, and as time progressed, then you had I think it was the '84 Olympics with Evander Holyfield, um, Pernell Whitaker, that group. And again, there were multiple gold medal winners at similar weight divisions or heavyweight, middle, whatever. And they went into the pros, and that was the exciting time back then because each Olympics we had gold medal winners.
Mm-hmm.
If not
Yeah.
gold, silver, uh, bronze, and and now we have no gold. We have nothing that can fall and follow the footsteps of the predecessors. We have none. So we've kind of fallen off the ship in a way, and you know what can bring it back?
Well, a couple of things, Kenny, and I certainly agree with you. All the way up to the last gold medalist for the United States was Clarissa Shields. Okay,
Yeah,
so on the female side,
yeah,
uh, I think we had a silver medalist or two, but our amateur program went. I don't know where it went
yeah,
uh, by the wayside. I can tell you that I was about 3 years ago. I was in Sochi, Russia,
mhm,
and they were talking about the state of boxing. Uh, and one of the things that they showed was a facility that they were building there. And that facility was only for the development of athletes,
right,
in particular, boxers. Okay? Huge, beautiful facility. And what I'm saying is that somewhere along the way, our amateur program went by the wayside. And from the amateur program was the fertile ground from which we produced the next generation.
yeah,
And our amateur program is it's just not there anymore. And if it is there, it's not very good anymore. Now, I know we have an Olympic training center in Colorado Springs. I don't know that it could even halfway compare to that facility that I saw them building over in Russia. Okay. And they've got those all over Europe. And so what I'm saying is they've made an investment outside of the United States. They've made an investment in their programs, particularly their boxing programs. And I would love to see the world go back to what it used to be when the major teams were the Russians, the Cubans, and the United States of America.
yeah.
Okay. That's where all of your major professional fighters, except for Cuba, came from. Okay. We need to rejuvenate our amateur program. We need to put, a lot effort back into our amateur program to develop these young uh, fighters to move into the professional ranks
Yeah.
because other countries are doing that. And the United States has fallen so far behind, it's going to be difficult to catch up. But it can be done.
It can be done because we have the product. I mean, the talent is here. The only issue is getting the talent to the gyms to train and dedicate themselves to the sport. Now, a couple of weeks ago, Birdman, I went to Barry's Boxing because they had an amateur card. And Bird, I walked in there and the place was packed, packed. And I saw a few of the trainers that we have often got in the ring when we wanted to move around a little bit as referees and look at the upcoming talent that's coming on, like for an example, Fernando Vargas and his boys. And there's a table off to the side. Now, back in our day, when a kid was fighting in the amateurs and they won, they would give the winner maybe a little trophy and give the loser maybe a gold medallion type medal. That's what they gave, and I know all that's all part of motivation to keep the energy and excitement into that kid because we've said this many a time. You don't play boxing, I don't care what level it is, and when you've had enough, you're going to be done with it. Birdman, they were given to the winner of the amateur show that was at Barry's Boxing they were giving these kids like a championship belt. And
Yeah.
I'm saying to myself, that's great for the mindset of the child to keep him fired up and going. But at the same end, if he felt that he's reached the top of the plateau of boxing, he's got a belt that he can reflect back on and parade and show and say, hey, when I was in amateurs, this is what I did.
Mm-hmm.
Moving him forward to the pros, that's where I think the problem comes in because from the amateurs, uh, back in the day, there was something international that was happening as far as preparing the kids for the pros.
Mm-hmm.
And I've talked to many amateur kids and said, like the AAUs and the international, they've cut all that out. So
Mm-hmm.
these kids don't get no international experience. And
Mm-hmm.
part of the reason why we go into the pros and have been doing poorly is because we don't have that international experience.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right. Yeah.
And we should because the other countries are doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, one of the things that we are trying to do with the show is to educate people
Yeah,
about this wonderful sport that has
yeah,
been so good to you and I.
yeah,
To educate them about that, and what we're talking about is a part of that education.
yes,
Okay, that you know you need to talk to your city council persons and then your
yeah,
supervisors and your legislators and say, hey, uh, you need to get behind
yeah,
this program. You know, uh, you need to put some time and put some energy into this, the way that other countries are. And that's why you're seeing, and it's not only in boxing, really now, you certainly see it in basketball. I mean, in the last, I think, two or three number one picks in basketball were foreign.
yeah,
I think they came from France.
yeah.
Okay. Uh,
Wimbignana
okay.
from France.
So I'm saying, so you're seeing it in every sport.
Yeah,
And boxing has always been global. It's always been a global sport.
yes,
But in the United States of America, we have not kept pace with
that's right.
what these other countries are doing, you
Yes,
know, and therefore, in terms of boxing, you know, it's really fallen off. It's really fallen off. Matter of fact, when you and I haven't done this, but and we're going to do this on maybe another show. We're going to look at who are the current champions and where are they from. Who are the current champions and where are these champions from? Because I
so,
guarantee you that a lot of them are not going to be from the United States of America.
right,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. And and I know this is a country thing. I've talked to athletes in other countries, and they have told me, well, hold it. We got a caller coming in.
Hello?
Hello, caller.
Huh. Hello, my name is John. I'm from Queens, New York, and how are you guys doing?
And
Fine.
good.
Nice to meet you, John.
Uh, I just had a question. I was wondering if we could talk about the NBA
Well,
and
our focus has always been
oh,
boxing, but what's your question?
who's the GOAT, greatest NBA player of all time? I think it's Michael Jordan.
Well, you certainly would be in a lot of company. There are a lot of folks out there that believe that, you
Yeah,
know. Uh, but I've always been of the impression that when you want to talk about those kinds of things, you have to talk about in what era. Okay, because they're great. There are a lot of great basketball players that were great in their
Oh, if we're
particular
going by
era.
if we're
In
going
their
by
particular era,
in
you
the
know.
in the we go by the current era, which was really the Steph Curry era. Steph Curry was the greatest player of all time. He revolutionized the 3-point shot, really revitalized it. And
Yeah.
if we're going off that, he would be the best player. But then we go into the Larry Bird era where he was going up against Magic Johnson, and we can make a case for those two guys being the best, Larry Bird and Magic Johnson.
And so you see, John, you answered your own question. You've answered your own question,
Yeah.
They're good. They're the best in a particular era. Yeah, you had players that were great. You can go all the way, and you can go all the way back into the 40s when the game first started.
All right.
So,
All right.
but are you a boxing fan? Are you a boxing fan?
What?
Are you a boxing fan?
No, I don't
No?
follow boxing.
You don't follow boxing?
Well,
No.
our time is short.
It's interesting. Why don't you follow boxing?
I just don't know anything about it, and it just doesn't seem interesting to me, boxing.
Okay. That's honest.
Our time is getting short, caller. We do thank you for
All right,
calling.
well, thank you. Have a good day.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for your call.
Caller. Yeah, I didn't want to get on too much of a run. We're getting pretty close to closing out here, and I know tomorrow will be our last show in regards to 2025. So yeah, I'll have my list together. We'll go one-on-one.
Me and you, baby. Me and you. Yeah. And for what he's talking about, callers out there, is on the show tomorrow, what we're going to be talking about is the top 10 boxing matches in 2025. Kenny certainly got his choices. I've got my choices. Somewhere along the way, they may blend. Somewhere along the way, they may clash. But you, callers out there, are going to be the benefit of it.
Right. Right. Well.
And by the way, callers, you can call in and tell us who you think the top 10 fights in 2025 were.
Yes, exactly. So callers and listeners, we want to thank you for joining the show. Again, this is the official call. We want to wish each and every one of you a happy new year. I hope your holidays were great, like mine and Birdman was. But I always like to finish the year out with, remember, what I say you must obey.
Kenny, let's do this.